What is up, gents? We are doing a live stream, so if you guys want to chat, make sure you guys are hitting the chat. We're gonna go over some Grey Knight list building. We just did a video on Death Guard. Fuck, I'm out of breath. So we'll get the pop out chat here, so you guys can see that. Cool. All right. Let me know if this sounds good, looks good, face looks good. Quick shave, got the beer. Grey Knights, cool. So we were ranked #1 Grey Knight player in the world 2 years ago. What's up? What's up, legend? All right, so ranked #1 Grey Knight player in the world 2 years ago. Definitely still my favorite faction. Love them. Sucks that they suck, but somebody just did good with them in the last GT. I think Art of War talked about it, whatever that Florida GT was. Somebody played against Lennon in the top bracket with the Grotmus detachment, so it sucks that Grey Knights have to use their most recent detachment to be good, but there are some other detachments like that. This whole video, guys, I wanted to do it live because I wanted something on YouTube. So I haven't been on YouTube. I was actually gone for a week for a vacation on a cruise, so all the Patreons and Dirtbags know that I was away. So now I'm back, trying to get back into the swinging things, and I wanted to go live for you guys, just so you guys know I'm still alive, and we're still playing some 40k. Cool. So sounds good. Help me, man. I've been stuck going 3-2, 2-1, sub D. Yes, it has been a minute, because I don't really do a ton of Grey Knights. I mean, I want to. Next year is going to be just a broad range of 40k in general. It's not going to be focused on like one faction. It's going to be all of 40k. I'm actually starting Space Marines. Look at that. Dude, fucking this guy is sick. He's so cool. I got him. I got Shrike. I got all that. Look at that. So we're starting the Raven Guard. I got my own little custom dude that gets the Vect blown up. Put a little. I put Shrike's old helmet on him, so he looks like a Raven Guard dude. But yeah, so we're starting Space Marines. Surprise, next year. But yeah, so this year we're going to finish up with Death Guard, and then we're going to go into other factions and all that stuff. So it's not just going to be solely focused on one thing. But this video, guys, is going to be live chat, list building, put my brain on the screen so you guys can think about what I think about when I'm making lists in a competitive setting, Grey Knight specifically, and like how you can use this type of list building for other factions as well. I just did a full hour video on Death Guard. That one's going to be coming up on Patreon probably tonight or tomorrow, and then we're going to be posting on YouTube probably next week. We have LVO coming up, so if you guys are going to LVO, definitely come up and say hi. I got some limited edition Dirtbag dice. And then we have Worlds in November. That's going to be the end of the season. We're currently ranked #1 Death Guard player. We're #4, I think, in the world. ITC points. Innis, we're coming for you, buddy. Yeah, I've never. Last year, I think I was 4th. Shit, I don't even remember what I was last year, but Innis was 3rd. I almost took him last year, but now he's #1. So let's see if we can get that. Let's get in the fucking video though. So if you guys are new to the channel, first off, thanks for clicking on the video. We have a ton of merch. We got these logos up on the merch site in the description below. We have all of this stuff. We have the new Lord of Contagion proxy. We have the Assassins proxies. We have Cypher proxy. We have the Tech Marine proxy. So we have all that stuff up on Discord, so make sure you message me for that. So a ton of stuff there. Usually my live videos, they don't have the merch stuff because it's live, so I can't show it. Usually I show it at the end of the video, but that's that. Bro, as long as you're having fun, man. Like I never really got into the competitive scene until like I was playing Grey Knights, and I didn't even know I was #1 in the world. I just played and fucking played what I liked. So don't really look into like where it's ranking. If you're gonna like be super competitive into it, then you can care about ranking. But your goal, I think, should be maybe faction focused, because if you do get #1 ranking, you get all the codexes for free next year. So that's kind of why I'm trying to do it, is I don't like spending money. So if I can get all this free shit on something that I do and love, that's kind of what I'm really trying. But go for Imperial Agents, #1 Imperial Agents in the world. That'd be fucking awesome. Somebody told me to do that. I'm thinking about it. All right, so today we got Southern Tier 2 times Hazy. pretty good. Iron Hill just closed down, guys. If you guys are in the northeast of America, Iron Hill Brewery just closed down. It's one of my favorite breweries. Sad. I drove by there today and hoping to get like cheap beer, and they were doors locked, nothing opened. All right, let's get into Grey Knights. That is not Grey Knights. Grey Knights are down here. New picture, Strike Force. Okay. So how we are going to be starting this is we're going to be starting what type of army detachment, strats, enhancement are you going to be focused on, and what do you want to build a list type? Like, what is your kind of play style? And that's really what you want to be doing. Every time you're looking at your army, you want to go through each detachment, you want to go through the strats, you want to go through the enhancements, and you want to see which one you're going to be focused on and building toward your strengths. So for me, I know we already know the Warp Bane Task Force is good. We're not going to build a list that everybody already knows. You can just Google those lists and stuff like that. I'm going to build more something. It sucks I can't like pause. Usually I pause this moment, but I'm going to build something more towards my play style, which is like a 10-man pally brick in Banishers. This one Banisher. This one is Banishers. So Banishers we actually played I think on the channel a couple weeks ago. But Banishers, let's look into Banishers first. We'll probably build Banishers and then we'll build Sanctic. I think Sanctic is cool. The other ones I haven't had too much practice with. This one's actually really good. I like the task force, but the Banishers. So Banishers, we'll start off with this. So this is brand new. I just got BlueStacks on the computer, so I can actually build this on my computer for you guys. So Banishers, create army. Okay. And then also, if you're looking at the reference, you can go to the reference and build your battle force at the same time. So I always like to go over the reference so that way I can see what I'm looking at as I'm building the list. So if I go to Grey Knights, you go to Codex, and then Banishers, you can actually see the detachment rule, the strats, enhancements. If I go here and I click on this, I have to scroll down and go through each fucking random strat that I have. Like, it just takes way too long. So I'd rather just go to a reference, have it right there, and then I can kind of go from there. So this one is you get sustain or lethal in melee only. Again, I'm not going to complain. I'm going to try my best not to complain too much about Grey Knights in this video. But each time a Grey Knight unit from your army selected a fight, so it's melee, not shooting, you can do a leadership test. So it's kind of like a Dark Pact, but you don't take mortal wounds if you fail. You just don't get anything. In Dark Pacts, if you fail, you take mortal wounds, but if you also fail, you still get your Dark Pact. Here, you just have to do a leadership test, which most of the time it's 6. There's a lot of leadership debuffs across the different armies, but yeah, there's a lot of shit. So you get sustain in melee with your psychic ability. You get sustain hits or lethal hits. So you could go into vehicles and try and do some lethal hits with them. It's really good for the paladins because you get 3 damage lethal hits going into combat. So I'm going to build my list trying to build around that detachment rule. And then you have to look at the strats and enhancements. So we're going to the strats real quick. Okay, so this one, you get mist. So this is one of the detachments that has mist still built in. It's not the shitty mist where it's D6. It's just a flat 6, or you go back into reserves. So you're still used to playing mist in this detachment. So still very strong. Still has it in your back pocket in case somebody gets close to you. Really good against other melee armies. And it's good that if you charge something, kill it, they then can't get close to you because then you can just mist away. And you can use mist in a defensive / aggressive position as well. So let's say if you're on a point or near a point and you need to mist onto the point to try and steal it from them or stop them from scoring. Let's say they run one guy onto the point. Well, you want to stop them from getting primary, so you're just like, all right, I'm going to move one guy onto the point or 2 guys onto the point to steal that from you. So there's a lot of stuff you can do with mist to be a dick and steal points, or just go back into reserves and stuff like that. The combo with that is that you can go back into reserves and then rapid ingress the same turn. So you basically picked up in their movement phase, and then at the end of their movement phase, you can then proc rapid ingress and then come back down on a really aggressive position and try and do something with that. So that's why I really like the big 10-man paladin brick in this attachment, because they're super defensive with that mist, as well as they can rapid ingress down at the same time and just be super good with the detachment roll by the sustain or lethal on the charge. So that is really good combo. And then this one on a character, they can't deep strike within 12 inches. So if you're going into like Death Guard, which is really good in the top meta right now, you can stop them from deep striking where they want to. Let's say they put you into contagion. You're like, all right, shit, now my unit's in contagion. I'm just gonna spend 1 CP, make my Grandmaster in that unit or a character nearby, hopefully like a Libby or something. Now you can't deep strike within 12 inches. I think it's at the start of your opponent's movement phase. So that kind of sucks. So you have to guess where they're going to go. So if you see like a Poxwalker unit that's like 9 inches away from you, they're probably going to try and get you into contagion range. So you're going to like pick the character that you're probably going to get in contagion range with. You pick that character, now they can't deep strike within 12 inches. So it's going to stop their Death Shroud from getting near you for 1 turn. So this is good for the meta and also demons as well. Then your charge phase. Infantry unit, until the end of the turn, eligible to declare charge, turn which advance. So advance and charge. We do have guns, they're not the best guns, but this helps with like getting out of maybe a Rhino and just charging fucking 15 inches away that you can advance. So your interceptors get out of Rhino 3, you can then advance, they move 12, so it's a minimum 15 with the advance. So 15, advance D6, and then charge. So I think interceptors are really good in this attachment, just for that specifically. But having an advance and charge for a decent AP2 2 damage melee weapon on Grey Knights is not bad. So then we got the anti-chaos, which again, Death Guard. T-Suns kind of got neutered. Chaos, demons. What else is chaos? It's basically it. So Chaos Space Marines, Chaos Demons, Death Guard are going to be the main ones that you're going to be using the anti-chaos 4+. And this works with shooting, not melee, but at least with the shooting, the 10-man Paladin brick. You can have all of your strength 8 or strength 4 just auto wound on a 4+. So can you combine that with anything crazy? Anti-chaos 4+. Is there any like dev that we have? Probably not. But the purifiers are 4 reels to wound, anti-chaos 4+, kind of a really good combo. So they come down, stay within 12 inches of the flamers. You just fucking flamer 4 flamers into them, anti-infantry 4+, like you're just gonna murder something. You're probably gonna kill a ton of Death Shroud as well. So the Death Shroud, toughness 7, we're strength 6 on most of our shit on our flamers. So you're gonna be wounding them on 5s, but now you're gonna be wounding them on 4s with full reels to wound. And then your anti-infantry 2+ as well with full reels to wound. Pretty good. So that's really good for the meta. And then, Chaos Knights, but they're probably neutered as well. Opponent shooting phase or fight phase, just after enemy unit selected targets. Feel no pain 5+ on 1 damage weapon. So having a 5+ feel no pain on a 10-man Paladin brick, pretty good. So again, I'm building it all around that 10-man Paladin brick, but also the 10-man Purifier. So I think 10-man Purifier, 10-man Paladins, really good to combine with. And then, yeah, we'll get into the enhancements as well. Smith is blasting us. I love it. All right. End of the phase. Grey Knights suck your unit from the battlefield are suffered 1 or more mortal wounds. This one's cool. So if Typhus comes down and then like does some mortal wounds to you, you can just spend a CP and on 2+ do mortal wounds back to him. You're like, oh shit, you did 5 to me? Wait, take 5 back. Like, kind of nuts. So that's good for grenades, good for tank shock, good for really like the Space Marine unit that does mortals with like the full rolls to hit and wound. Dev wounds, like that's kind of nuts because it's any mortal wounds, which devs counts as mortal wounds. So they can do mortal wounds back, and that's end of any phase. So you can do it multiple times if it's like the shooting, fight, charge. Like in the charge phase, if they're trying to tank shock you on like a big knight, they're like, all right, I'm gonna try and do like 4 or 5 mortal wounds. They do 5 to you, and you're like, all right, fuck it. Here's 5 back, so it's a really, really cool strat. So I really like a lot of the strats in this detachment. So already off to a good start. And detachment has good strats. Okay, detachment roll. It actually has something that you can use only in the melee phase. And then let's go over the enhancements. So enhancements, starting off, we're looking at Grey Knights model only in the shooting phase. Each time model and bearer's unit makes an attack, reroll hit roll 1. So if you put it on a Grandmaster, they're hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s. Only in the shooting phase, not in the melee phase. But in the shooting phase, reroll 1s. Not bad. Then on the infantry, so there's a lot of infantry, so this isn't really a Dread Knight detachment. A lot of the detachments and strats are infantry. And then at the start of the shooting phase, if bears engage your range in a bear enhancement, make a null move up to D6. So this would have been cool if you put this on a Grandmaster. I think one of the detachments, you can come down outside 9, move, get within melter range, and then fire. I think that might be Sanctic. I forget what detachment that is. Or that's this Sanguinian one, whatever. D6 until the end of phase, bearer is not able to color. So I don't like that one. This one is probably the best one we have. So in the shooting phase, each time a bearer's unit makes an attack, improve the armor penetration by 1. So that's either going to go on our Grandmaster or a Tech Priest to join a Purifier Squad. So a Purifier Squad can be joined by the Tech Priest. Let me pull up the Tech Priest really quick. Let's go back to here. Characters. Tech Priest. Right here. So leader. Boom. Purifier Squad. I was cheating and I added, first time I played it, I had the Brotherhood Champion, but he can't join Purifiers. It's Purgation, which I misread. So you can actually add a Tech Marine into a... There's my dog. What's up there? Add the Tech Priest into the Purifier unit for the 6/6 seal, so that way all of their weapons are AP3 on the Purified Flame and AP2 on everything else. Kind of nuts. So keep that in the back of your mind. Or the Grandmaster to go into the Paladin unit, so all their weapons are shooting weapons, all their side cannons are actually AP2, which could kill something. So that's kind of scary. And then the last one I actually really like on a Librarian. So at the start of the shooting phase, the bearer can use this enhancement. If it does, select one enemy unit within 24 inches. That's so far. And visible to the bearer, unit suffers D3 mortal. So just a free D3 mortal wounds. You don't have to roll 2+. You don't have to do anything. You're basically just, hey, you take D3 mortals. So that's probably going to be used on a Librarian because I'm going to try and combine that with their Lone Op 18. So I'm going to put that with a Librarian starting off. Now you can do Lone Op 18 Librarian or just a solo Librarian without the Lone Op, but he's more likely probably going to die. I like the 4-man Terminator squads now with the Librarian, because then you can go Librarian, 4-man Terminator squad for not too many points. It's like, with this enhancement, it's 260 points, with an Apothecary still on a 4-man, with like 1 side cannon, and his gun 18 inches away. So like, you got a lot of little firepower right there to come down, do free mortals, shoot something, and then at the end of your turn, you can either mist away or you can go back up and come back down and do something else. So they're Lone Op 18. So that unit is super annoying to deal with, especially adding this enhancement on there. So just more mortal wounds output with the grenades that we have, and then this as well. So it's really, really good. So those are the enhancements. So my thought is this one, definitely this one, and then these two are up in the air. This one definitely up in the air. This one probably never going to take. So that's what I'm looking at as I'm building the list. So before I pick like the thing, I'm going and I'm picking which detachment looks cool, and then I'm going to read their enhancements, and then I'm going to read the strats. So that's kind of as I'm picking. So I'm going to be doing this for Space Marines as well, because I'm starting Space Marines this year, so I have to go through each detachment, look at them, which one's going to fit my playstyle, which enhancements I'm really going to like, and strats. So that's kind of what I'm doing first. Then we're going to start building. So I'm going to start the list by doing what I said before, is I'm going to build around a bully unit, and then I'm going to add into that with turn 1 secondaries, turn 1 deployment, where I'm going to deploy everything, what I'm going to put in reserve, stuff like that. So I'm going to start off with, like I said, the Grandmaster. We could go a Dread. I don't think we have a Dread now. Grandmaster, Libby definitely. Crow, I fucking love Crow. And that's going to be my starting point. Then I will need to add units to them. So let's add, every Grey Knight unit should have a start, probably 1 or 2 strike squads. We're going to add a Terminator squad to go with the Librarian. So every list should have 1 or 2 strike squads. I'm just going to start with 2 to start. I'm not going to be building the weapons. Usually you guys should know like what weapons to be putting on everybody. Usually it's just side cannons everywhere. And then we have Interceptor squads. Again, I think are really good in this edition, or this detachment, to get super far, advance and charge, move out, shoot, get back into a Rhino. So I'm going to add 2 Interceptor squads. Let's start off with a Paladin unit, a Purifier squad, and then let's start looking at the points. So I have to increase my Paladin squad to 10. So again, we're just going to kind of build just basic. Sorry, the yellow, that's super annoying, but 10 Paladins and then 10 Purifiers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll do 4 Flamers with this one. So 4 Incinerators. They're going to be my Crow unit. So we're going to do that, and then we want to kind of go from there. So that is my first idea. So Interceptors definitely want a Rhino. Having a Rhino in your list of infantry is going to be good, so that way they can't ditch Bring It Down. So if you don't have any monsters or vehicles and they get Bring It Down, they could just throw it away for free and then pick a new card. If your Rhino's hidden most of the game, you're going to be able to hide it. If they draw it, they can't get rid of it. So that they're going to have to spend a CP or keep that and lose points for the Bring It Down. So that's my thought always by bringing at least one vehicle or monster in most of my lists. For example, in my Chaos Cult list, it was all infantry, and then I had one Rhino, which I think was Doug's idea. So I brought one Rhino just to kind of have like a transport vehicle, do some actions, and just have it for the you can't ditch Bring It Down. So that was my idea for that. So this pairs really well with Interceptors. So already right there, good to go. 1705 points. The Paladins were at 10, so Paladins, let's add some enhancements now. Grandmaster, I think we're going to go throw the 66 seal on. The Librarian, I already told you we're going to do the Mortal Wound one, which I guess is this one. So now we're at 1750. So I have 250 points from my base. This is my base of what I'm going to be running. Now we have to figure out what we're going to be adding to help with actions, turn 1, and be like a bullet. Now with Grey Knights, everything's a 2-up save, so adding basic infantry is not too basic. Like, they're actually really good and hard to kill, especially in cover. So I have 2 bullet units, especially with Mist, it's going to be really good. So both these units are going to be my Mist targets. Sometimes if they're not really threatened, you can Mist a Interceptor squad or a Strike squad or your Terminator squad, but most of the time the Mist strat is going to be focused on the Paladin and Purifier unit, the 10-man unit. With them dying, I didn't get their points back. I want to make sure I get 550 points, 350 points back from that unit throughout the game. So they have to live. So the Paladin's going to be the abuser, bully unit. The Purifiers are going to be the murder whatever infantry's on the table, heavy infantry, Terminators, whatever. They're infantry 2+, the anti-chaos 4+, full rerolls to wound if they're on the objective. Like, they are going to munch whatever the hell they look at. The Paladins, again, they're going to be the bully units with the charging, the mist, the rapid ingress, all that stuff. They're really hard to kill as well, and they hit pretty hard in combat now with their 3 damage charging. So rapid ingressing and then moving up and charging and get the 3 damage with the lethals, going to be really good. Sucks that the anti-chaos is only shooting though. But yeah, and then the Interceptors, I'll probably put either Flamers on them so they can move out, Flamer, and then move back in, or move out, shoot a side cannon, and move back into the Rhino. So they're going to move, shoot, move almost every turn. If I need to launch them out to kind of go do an action or threaten a point or steal a point, that's what they're going to be doing most of the time. And the strikes, just remind me I have to do a strike video. But the strikes are going to be 1 in the backfield, 1 aggressive in the front to go in that little L if you're playing layout 1 or layout 4 where they're going in like the right L. But 1 strike's going to be aggressive, the other strike's going to be in the back to make your back home sticky. You can do aggressive on both units if you really want to. Let's say you have the back strike unit within 6 inches of your home objective, so that way you can either move 6 inches forward or move 6 inches back. Most of the time, if you're going to move 6 inches, you want to move 6 inches back, put 1 guy barely touching on your point, 2 inches, 2 inches, 2 inches, 2 inches, and that puts them pretty far strung out on turn 1. And then on turn 1, you can move them forward into the center to get area denial, secure no man's land, cleanse, but they're going to be aggressive on your home field and then move back, right? And then you have miss, so if they come near you, could just either move 6 inches away or just go back in reserves. But at least your home field is now sticky, and then you can use them for an aggressive move. And then we have our Terminator unit. So the Terminators, where the brother Libby is going to be going like kind of all over the board. They're going to be usually staying 18 inches away at all times from their target. One of them is going to be having the Apothecary. The other one's going to have the side cannon. I think you can have a side cannon, right? Yeah. So the banner can have a side cannon, and then you can only bring a side cannon if you have 5 units, 5, I believe, models. Yeah, so you can have the banner with a side cannon, which is cool. You can have the apothecary dude, and then just storm bolters. So at least you have one long range side cannon, and then this guy's shots are 18 inches. So you want to at least get the Vortex of Doom 18 inches away, and he's low up 18. So you're going to be putting him in a defensive position outside or right at 18 inches of the target that you're trying to shoot. So that way they can shoot and then potentially not be shot by anything else behind them. And then they're in a very defensive position off to the side. That unit's pretty good with objectives as well, because they are OBSEC 3 each. So it's 12, 13, 14 OBSEC right there. Yeah, so that is that. So I have 1 unit there, 2 strike units, the Rhino with these 2, the 10-man Paladin, 10-man Purifier. We have 250 points left over. What's really good in our book right now? Obviously, we have the Nemesis Dread Knights. They're 210 points. We have the Purgation Squad, which are pretty good with slowing down other infantry units. And then some fucking random Storm Ravens. We have Land Raider Redeemer, which is too much. We have the Crusader. We have the regular Land Raider, which 220 points. Did ours go down as well? I know a bunch of Space Marines lost points in the Land Raider. And then we have the Gunhawk, which I might make a list with the gunship. But where's our Purgation? So Purifier is 125. I could just flat out add 2 more Purifier units, which are 5-mans, which have 2 heavy weapons in each squad, full rerolls to wound when they're on the objectives, and they're just tough to kill. So they Purify Flame and 2 heavy weapons. So you can be doing 2 side cannons in each squad with the 4 or 5 Purify Flame as well. So you have 2 units right there, and then boom, that's exactly 2,000 points. This would be my standard Banisher list right here. So this is going to be my idea. I'm starting the list with the standard units that I want to build, which was the 10-man Paladins, 10-man Purifiers, Grandmaster, Crow, and Librarian. Then obviously I have the Terminators with the 2 strikes. That's kind of like my standard list. Then you want to add whatever flair you want with the enhancements, the detachment roll, and stuff like that. With this, it was Interceptors, Rhino, and the Purifiers, and then that is kind of like the bare bone list. The other option is this is my standard competitive 10-man Paladin FU bully list. Okay. The other option, guys, if you want to do Banishers with more of like an MSU style list, which I actually ran this a couple times. One of our other Grey Knight dudes on YouTube, him and I were talking about the MSU list, and he was actually doing really well with it. I tweaked it a little bit for my thing, but we get rid of the Paladins, and it's just a ton of 2-wound infantry. I think we keep the Terminators. Strike, Rhino, Interceptors, get rid of the Paladins, 10-man Purifier, 10-man Purifier, 10-man Interceptors, maybe? 10-man Interceptors is kind of scary coming out of a Rhino. So they just threaten super far, they can advance and charge. Now we need to add another leader to that 10-man Purifier unit, which, like I said, is the Brotherhood Tech Marine. Now the 66 seal is free, so I can add the 66 seal to the Tech Marine and make those Purifiers AP2 on the AP3 on the Purify Flame and AP2 on the side cannons, or AP2 on the Flamers. But I already have a Flamer unit with Crow, so I'm going to have this unit be more of like a kind of farther back 18 inches shooting unit, kind of like my Librarian. So 6/6 seal right there. And again, these guys are not the Flamers, but the side cannons. Boom. All right, so now we're at 1780. I have 120 or 220 points left over for this type of list. I have a 10-man, 5-man, 1 Rhino, Strike, Libby. What else can we add? So I want more MSU. So maybe I can add another Strike. Maybe I can add another 5-man Interceptor. And then I already have those 3. So I'm 30 points over. So instead of adding the Interceptor, we could always add our handy dandy Kaladesh Assassin, and then booyah. So there's our MSU style list. We have Libby with the Terminator squad. We have the Tech Marine with the 10-man, Crow with the 10-man. Again, with the 10-man, Mist is just so good for a 10-man. and then the rapid ingress at the same turn. 3 strike squads, sticky objectives, scout 6, super hard to kill. Rhino, again, with the can't get rid of the tank secondary. 10-man interceptor. You could go 3 5-mans if you want, or try the 10-man interceptor squad out. Maybe we could just go 3 5-mans and just do that. But I think a 10-man interceptor is kind of good in Banishers. But yeah, if you delete that and just go more MSU, boom, boom, you can have. Honestly, what you could do, I think what I did here was I made a 10-man, and on turn 1, I put one of the strikes in the Rhino. So that way on turn 1, the Rhino can scout 6 into a defensive position, usually on layout 1. So you can scout 6 inches up, right, with the Rhino in the strikes. And then on your turn 1, you can have your 10-man interceptors that are in defensive position in your home field. They can then move out 12 or advance into the Rhino, or move out, shoot, and then get into the Rhino. So let's say they have like infiltrators or something that you can shoot at on turn 1. Your interceptors are going to be able to hop out 12, shoot at something, and then get within 9 of the Rhino, and then get back into the Rhino on turn 1. And then the strikes obviously are getting out of the Rhino to go do something. So that's usually what I did. I had the 10-man start on the board, and then they kind of moved up, shot, and then got in the Rhino. And then the strikes that were in the Rhino scouted and then got out and did something else. But this list honestly is kind of scary. It doesn't look scary, but with the amount of 2-up saves and just maneuverability that Grey Knights have all over the table, is going to score really well in primary, going to deny people primary, and then all you're going to focus on is the secondaries, which Grey Knight are one of the best secondary armies in the game. So we have a pretty good heavy hitting shooting unit with the Tech Marine, really good unit with melee and shooting with Crow. We have the Libby kind of picking off solo characters and going all over the place, 18 inches with Lone Up. And then you have 3 sticky objectives, the Interceptor squads, and obviously the Purifier squads, with Cowled Assassin giving us Vect, and then an extra infantry unit to go up and down every single turn. So there's the second MSU Grey Knight list that actually performed pretty well the last time I ran it against Custodes. I think Grey Knights against Custodes are bad matchup for Custodes. I think we beat them with Purifiers pretty easily. All right, so let's go over my other list that I've been thinking about is Grey Knights right here. And then what should we do? Probably Sanctic, because that was the other one that I had practice with, and Sanctic has Mist. So Mist still having in our option is good. So let me pull up my Sanctic list. Okay, so we have really 2 options with Sanctic. We can go all Dread Knights, we can go all vehicle spam, because it is our assault vehicle 1. So let's pick up the Sanctic, and then we'll name it Sanctic. Okay, so we'll read over the... Here we go. So Grey Knight vehicle, nothing else. So no infantry, nothing like that. It's just Grey Knight vehicle, get assault. Now, what sucked about this is Dread Knights, since they got their huge buff, they're still able to advance, shoot, and charge. Fall back, shoot, and charge. So this kind of doesn't even apply for half of our good vehicles that we're going to be bringing. If you want to bring something that has like a Land Raider that can advance fucking 18 inches, auto 6, it's auto 6 advance. Advance 18 inches through a wall and then be able to shoot is going to be kind of scary. So, and now that they went down, I think at points, making 3 Land Raiders in a list should be super fun. Talking to you, Mark Hurdle. So the Assault auto advance 6 on vehicles. So that is what we're going to kind of build the list towards. And then we're going to look at the strats and enhancements. So the strats, all vehicles. So vehicle, vehicle, vehicle. Yeah, Eric. Triple Land Raider. We will build it and test it. Actually, I have prints from Sam on Discord. So I have to put them together so we can run the list. All right, so now I'm going to be reading the list and thinking about how we're going to be combining this as I'm building the list. 6 Dreadnoughts, 6 Boss Knots, 2 Strikes, go. That honestly is good in what's the fucking the main detachment, the Grotmus detachment. Like, it's still really scary. But I think having 1 Dread is really good in this detachment. 2 Dreads would be cool, but they're kind of expensive. They're 140 points. They're character now, so they can actually have enhancements like Sigil, which is pretty funny. Or they can have Driven by Duty, which is pile in and consolidate 6 inches, which don't think you're ever going to be using that on a Dread. Okay, so let's go over this one. Enemy units within 3 inches must take a battle shock test, and that's every enemy unit within 3 inches. So if your vehicle charges in, does like a tank shock, the charge phase just after the enemy vehicle unit from your army ends a charge move within 3 inches, takes a battle shock test, subtracting 1 from the test. So this could be very, very situational. Most of the time, you're going to be using this on like a Dread Knight that's going to be getting into combat. You could use this on a vehicle to kind of like stop them from doing something, or like it sucks because it's like your charge phase, so you can't do this like in the fight phase, because like if they charged you and you try to force a tank shock, then at least it could get you some primary. But this is going to be situational if you don't want them to use a strat or fight on death or whatever. Armor contempt. So mainly you're going to be doing this on like a Dread Knight. But charging in, doing battle shock, cool. Next one, your movement phase or charge phase. 1 Grey Knight vehicle unit from your army is not supposed to shoot feds and defend. Advance, charge move, automatic. So you move through terrain features, mainly a Land Raider. So you're going to start this like in your deployment zone, hopefully in defensive position, you know, unless you're playing Raven Guard, which they can come down in turn 1 and blow up your Land Raider, which is bullshit. You can then just kind of start him in defensive position and then just advance 18 inches to more aggressive position on turn 1 through a wall. So your big ass Land Raider could just advance 18 inches with some flamers or last cannons. Just go fucking YOLO towards your opponent. Imagine all 3 Land Raiders going up 18 inches turn 1. That's dumb. So that's going to be what it's really built for. The other guys, like the Dread Knights, yes, it could work for them, mainly the regular Dread Knights, because they can advance and charge. But usually they're enough maneuverability to kind of like go on like an angle and then go around something. But if you really, really need to get through a wall or on the other side, at least you have that to your advantage, especially being able to advance auto 6. So your movement phase, declare a charge, shoot and declare a charge which fell back. So this is mainly for the Grandmaster Dread Knights. If your vehicle wants to fall back and not suffer the penalty for being in combat, that's cool. But usually it's going to be mainly for the Grandmaster Dread Knights, because the regular Dread Knights can already do that. So the Grandmaster Dread Knight being able to shoot and charge when it fell back is a huge bonus to the Grandmaster Dread Knights. And with the new weapon, is kind of clutch. So with the Meltus. So like kind of fall back forward. Fall back. Still can't, they lost fly, so you can't advance over shit anymore, so that kind of sucks. They can only fall back if they're not surrounded. So how to stop vehicles with Grey Knights is you just surround them, and then they have to take a desperate escape to try and fall back. That's scary. Alright, so Grey Knight vehicle can heal them, flat 3. There's no caveat to it, it's just auto 3 in your command phase. So if you're about to be bracketed, or, you know, like right below bracket, you just spend 1 CP and now you're not bracketed anymore. Your shooting phase or fight phase. Until the end of the phase, makes an attack, targets a monster vehicle, add one of those. That is huge. So this specific strat, I love that it's not vehicle only, it's Grey Knights. So you do have some options to add a unit of infantry into your vehicle list to make it like more of a bully type unit. Now this bully type unit list is going to be mainly for the Paladins and Grandmaster. So you can put Sigil still and have +1 to wound against monsters and vehicles, which is our biggest hurdle in Grey Knights, is trying to kill monsters and vehicles. So having +1 to wound in the shooting and fight phase, both phases. So this is one of the best strats we have in the Codex, which is sad. But you get +1 to wound. So let's say you're going into the shooting phase and then you're charging, you get to spend 2 CP or 1 CP if you're using the Grandmaster to get +1 to wound into them. So you're going to wound them most of the time on 4s, and then in the charge phase on 4s, because we're still only strength 6. God fucking knows why. I don't know. No hammers. So that is really good. I love that it's infantry. So now I'm already thinking in my mind 10-man Paladin unit with some Dread Knights. Really good combo. Then we have lastly the Grey Knight vehicle. as a 4-up Feeling of Pain against mortal wounds. So if they're trying to tank shock you, throw grenades, Eldar bullshit, like you're gonna be able to have a 4-up Feeling of Pain against mortal wounds. And now this is at the any phase just after a vehicle suffers mortal wounds. So you don't have to do it prior, which is the wording is key. Not having to do something ahead of time, super good. Having to wait to see what happens, really good. So that's what I like about the wording of this this thing, because like let's say you're on 5 wounds and they happen to do 5 mortals to you. Great, now you can at least live and have them have to shoot you or charge you, or you just live because of the 4-up Feeling of Pain. And it's not a 5-up Feeling of Pain, it's a 4-up Feeling of Pain. So you have a 50-50 shot for each dice roll to obviously try and live. So I really, really like that. So that's on all of your vehicles. So again, we only have one strat that is for infantry. All the other ones are vehicles. So most of the time we're going to be using vehicles in this detachment. So let's start off. I'm thinking I really like the Libby. Now the Libby has been performing for me in every single list that I'm making and detachments. So I really like the Libby. But in this list, we're going to try and start it without the Libby. So without the Libby, I'm going to build the 10-man Paladin brick. I'm going to start that. So Grandmaster. I want the Venerable Dread, because having the Venerable Dread to be able to shoot something, all of your other Dread Knights hitting on 2s is insane. So definitely want that. Tech Priest, really good for Dread Knights and what's it called? Land Raiders and stuff like that. But I think this one mainly we're going to be just doing Grandmaster with 10-man Paladins. So obviously you're going to have the 2 strikes. We don't need the Terminator squad because we don't have the Liberty in this list. I don't want any rhinos. I want dreadnoughts. So we have 1 Dread Knight, 2 Dread Knight, 3 Dread Knight, Paladin squad. And let's start with that. So Dread Knight, Paladins, 10-man. And then we need Sigil. Sigil, boom. There we go. So that's the core of the list. The core is the Sigil. We have the 3 Dreads. Venerable Dread, 2 strikes for sticky, and then the Sigil and the Paladins. So the Tech Priest, Lone Op, good little cheeky unit for actions and can heal. So you have 2 ways to heal. You have the healing of the strat and the Tech Marine heal. So you can heal basically 3, and then so D3 plus 3 healing. That's going to be clutch, especially having a Land Raider. So I have 345 points. So what can we do for 345 points? We can add another Grandmaster Dread Knight. I think 4 Dread Knights is really good. But let's go with the fucking Land Raider. So Land Raider, Crusader, 220 to 270. I think this was 285 prior to the update. So I think it did go down 15 points. Now we have 75 points left over. I can add another Tech Marine. I don't think I can add anything crazy with Imperial Agents. I wanted 85 points for this guy. So I'm thinking, once I have like all the vehicles, what else can I have for secondary units, for chaff, for screening, stuff like that? So we have most of our list. We have our big bully unit. That's going to be really hard to track down and kill. We have our FU Dread Knight spam list for the 3. We have our buffing unit for the Dread Knight or Dreadnought. We have our 1 strike squad to do the backfield objective. We have the other strike squad to be aggressive and make another thing sticky. We have the Redeemer to go 18 inches through a wall and be super aggressive. Or I can get rid of that one and add a regular Land Raider. Give it +1 to hit, so hitting on 2s. And still going 18 inches to shoot. But that means the Tech Marine's not going to keep up with it. But Tech Marine with the Land Raider hitting on 2s, that gives me 125 points left over. I can either add a Strike Squad to have more infantry and MSU units. I can take away this guy. That's 195 points. I can't really add anything else. It's 30 points left over. Get rid of the Land Raider. It's 190 points. With the Dread Knight, Grandmaster. I haven't tried this one yet, but each time a bearer's unit piles and consolidate goes 6 inches. So he's probably coming in via rapid ingress. So that way you can rapid ingress, get a charge off, pile in and consolidate 6 inches. And then he's probably going to die, honestly. Dreadnought, so that I have 180 points left over. So I really need more MSU. So what can we do for 180 points? We can go the Interceptor squad. It gives us 50 points. Can't really add anything for 50 points anymore because he took away our servitors. And then the Inquisitor's 55. Inquisitor Agents is 60. So Priest for 40 points. Or I probably have to take away the enhancement driven by duty. And that gives us 60 points to bring the Inquisitor Agents. Yeah, it's probably the best option. So Agents, this is going to screen out a little bit in the backfield. So that way both your strike units can do something aggressively. All right, so this list we have 4 Dread Knights, 1 Grandmaster Dread Knight, which is going to be able to fall back, shoot and charge with the strat. You can auto advance 16 and shoot with all 4 of them. The Dreadnought, we're going to be probably having the Assault Cannon, not the Storm Bolter, but the Flamer. So that way you can almost guarantee that you're going to be able to hit something. And that way whatever he hits gets +1 to hit on all of the vehicle units. Is it vehicle or everybody? I think it's everybody. That's why I really like the Librarian with him. Because him and the Librarian actually like going up and down together. So they would go up and down together. So that way when they came down, the Librarian's unit came down. So the Librarian was able to hit on 2s with his Vortex of Doom and the Psy Cannons from the unit. Been running Razorbacks, Interceptors in Sanctic with Dread support, 2x5 strikes. Yeah, so I think that's another way to build a list is if you want to go with the Razorbacks. Like they're going to be able to move super far. You can basically get the guys out, move the Razorback, get the guys back in with the Interceptors. So basically Razorback can move up, shoot something, Interceptors can shoot something, and then get back in to the Razorback in a more defensive position. So they can get out, Razorback can advance super far somewhere else, shoot something, they can then hop back 9 inches away into the Razorback somewhere else. So that's actually a really good combo with the Razorbacks. But this is going to be just kind of like my ideas of starting of how I'm building what I'm building. So again, we have the 3 Dread Knights, we have the 10-man Paladin Brick, which is going to be super tanky with the Sigil and the Mist, or Sigil, and that's mainly it. So the Sigil is going to make them super defensive. Imperial Agents, because we had an extra 60 points to block out the backfield. 3 Dread Knights, Interceptor Squad for secondaries and actions. 2 Strike Squads for sticky. This guy to boost all the Dread Knights hitting. That's what I wanted to check. See if it was just vehicles. I think it's anybody. Yeah, each Grey Knight model from you and it adds 1 to the hit roll. So everybody's hitting on 2s. Paladins already hit on 2s. But now all your Dreads are hitting on 2s anyway. So this is going to be one version of the Sanctic list that's going to be built around Dread Knights. So let's go over what I said earlier, which is going to be the Land Raider FU. Here's fucking 3 Land Raiders. Can you deal with it? So I think the Land Raiders was more of like a fun type build. Before I leave this one, my main Sanctic build, guys, is there's no Nemesis Dread Knight Grandmaster. Like I said, it was a Librarian in there with 4 Terminators. And this combo with the Librarian and the Venerable Dreadnought, hitting 2s with your Librarian is really, really good. Yeah, and then we don't have the Interceptors. So we add the Assassin. I think the Assassin having up and down, not having to worry about anything, like she's still one of the best infantry units, secondary units with Vect that we have in Grey Knights. So it's 4 units that you can pick up with the uppy downy. So having this in the list, we have 75 points left over, which gives us an extra Tech Priest to help heal and make somebody hit on 2s. So this is my main Sanctic list. This is super tanky, hits hard, and hard to chase down and kill because Paladins have a res guy now. So you can bring an Apothecary with the Paladins, which they have Sigil, so you can't shoot them. So you're going to have to charge them. And if you charge them, you have to kill all of them. If not, they're going to res the guy back. With the Grandmaster in the unit, so they get a free strat now, which should have been last Codex. Free strat, and they get once per game, add 3 to the attack and strength of the weapons of this guy. So spending 1 CP for precision to make this guy just go Kamehameha, 8 attacks, hitting on 2s, strength 9 AP2, 2 damage. Seems good. Cool. So that's my idea. That's like my main Sanctic build. So let's get into one more Sanctic build off the cuff with some Land Raiders. This list is actually made with one Land Raider, so this list is actually pretty cool. All right, so let's delete. Let's delete the Libby. Delete the Terminators. Let's bring the Paladins out. Get rid of the Paladins. And let's go with some fucking Land Raiders. Land Raider Redeemer, 270 points, or Land Raider, these guys. So these guys with the Dreadnought is going to be hitting on 2s. But I like the Assault 18 through a fucking wall to Flamer and then have a really, really good Overwatch target. So we're going to go with some Redeemers. So throw 2 in there and kind of check the points. So we got 2 Redeemers, 2 Dreadnought, or 3 Dreadknights, Kaldis Assassin, 2 Strikes, Venerable Dread, Grandmaster we don't need anymore. So maybe we can add we need the Sigil on somebody. So the Sigil has to be somebody aggressive, which is probably going to be this guy. He's going to get the Sigil. So he can be aggressive and come back down and use his Melta on somebody. So now we have 25 points left over. The Tech Marine, get rid of him. And now we have 95 points left over. What can we add for 95 points? We can have a Razorback that can scout up. 85 points, maybe 10 points left over, which this guy can pile in 6 inches if we really want to. We do want somebody in the Land Raider. We want to kind of abuse it. Not abuse it, kind of abuse it, but we want Interceptors. Go in and out all day long. So 2 Interceptors going in and out of the Land Raiders. I'm 45 points over. I can't really add anything for that. I could get rid of the Assassin. That gives me 55 points, which gives me an Inquisitor. I can put on my Strike, but then they lose the Scout and all that fun shit. So we get to these guys. We have 85 points. So 2 Assassins. 85 points. We can add a Tech Priest, which I don't know if we need. I mean, having a Tech Priest, I think in Sanctic is really good. Just having additional wound or additional heal. Like you're making something pretty tanky with options of 2 ways to heal them. So I really do like Tech Marines in the Sanctic detachment. But we have 65 points. 85 points. So 85 points is not going to get us. It's going to get us 1 Tech Priest or 3 Redeemers, 3 Dreadknights, 4 Dreadknights. 55 points left over. Fuck the Assassin. God, that is brutal. I don't think it's good. I think 2 might be better because then you have more MSU to kind of like actually do actions and stuff. So if we do that, we have Interceptors that could hop out, hop back in, do actions, steal objectives, or another Interceptors 95 points. So what can we add? We can have a Calixus Assassin. Eversor can't do. We can do Imperial Breachers. Ooh, we can add Kodias. Get us an extra CP. Draxes can't really do much. Navigator, block out the backfield. What else? Captain Artemis. 95 points. What can we add? I think we're going to add a Calixus Assassin. It's 90 points. There's 10 points left over. This guy can pile and consolidate 10 inches, 6 inches. Or we get rid of the Strike for an Interceptor. Probably a Strike for an Interceptor. So at least we can have 1 unit that's going to be super annoying with actions. Booyah. Alright, so there we go. This is going to be our Land Raider, aggressive, 3 Dreadknights, 4 Dreadknights, 1 with Sigil. So Sigil, Venerable Dread, Uppy Downy, target a unit, make everybody hit on 2s. Strike Squad, just mainly for sticking. That's all their purpose is to do is sticky. Go up and down if you need them, and then do actions. That's their whole purpose, is to screen out the backfield. Interceptors are going to be in one of the Land Raiders. They're going to hop out, shoot, hop back in if you don't need them to do actions. Hop out, shoot, steal an objective. 3 Dread Knights to shoot everything on the table. Advance 14, shoot and charge. Cowled Assassin solely doing actions, and then the Colux Assassin to potentially come down outside 6s in your opponent's deployment zone. Do a Battle Shock at -1. Get rid of that home field objective, and then on your turn, move up and kill whatever's holding the objective. So this guy is actually super scary. I played against him with Dave, who was running him in his Knights list. So I had my Tallyman on my home field objective. So he came down outside 6 inches, chucked a grenade at Tallyman, probably should have killed him. So he basically comes down, throws a grenade, shoots him, kills the Tallyman, forces a Battle Shock on my Plague Marines, makes him fail. I lose 5 points on my home field objective, and now he has an assassin in my home field that I probably can't kill with my Plague Marines. So yeah, that was a really good. And then obviously Cal Assassin going everywhere and doing Vect. So yeah, I actually really like this list. This is going to be a aggressive, super quick, all over the table, different angles, shooting your opponent, and still have some secondary choices with these two, these guys, and that's about it. Yeah. So there is our how we build list ideas for Grey Knights. So let me know if you guys have any questions about this. I know I kind of talked really fast and went over a lot of stuff, but my idea is to look at the detachments, see which one fits my playstyle. Once I open it up, I look at the detachment rule. Can this work? Can it not? Do I even want to try? Look at the strats one by one, each individual stratagem. Look at the enhancements, which one's going to be really good, which one's not, which unit's going to be working well with it, which one's not. And then I start with a core of the list, core of the build. So like, for example, I really wanted the Banishers with the 10-man Paladins. So that's going to be like the first thing I add. And then the next thing is going to be the characters to add to that. And then you go based off of the strats and enhancements to finish off the list. Once you have the core of your list and your playstyle, then you add all the rest of the MSU to fill in the secondary role and the screening and stuff like that. So that's how you're going to be building list every single time, and that works for every single army. I did the Death Guard recently. That's going to go up on the Patreon page, and then I'm going to do Chaos next. So we might just go live into Chaos. I'm not sure. Wife's coming home soon, so maybe just record that one. So we'll go Chaos next, and then after that, we're going to be doing a ton of videos over the weekend, and we have LVO coming up on next Thursday, actually. So fucking a week from now, we'll be at Las Vegas. So if you guys are at Las Vegas, definitely come up and say hi so we can give you some limited edition Dirtbag dice. They're going fast. But also all the merch we have, definitely check out the merch store. Hit me up on Discord if you want any of the physical merch. And then all of the Printify stuff, that's up on Printify. And then the Rexar lasers, laser with the Dirtbag engraving, sick. Might be having some of those for LSO. And then Worlds after that. So a lot of stuff coming up. And then once Worlds is over, we're done Death Guard. Hopefully you got #1 Death Guard player in the world. After that, next year, we're going to be focused a ton on just everything. So whatever the hell we want to run at a GT, that's what we're going to be running. We're not going to be solely focused on a specific army faction. We're going to be focused more on YouTube and growing the channel. And actually, there's talks in the works, guys, of a me, Keevil, Justin, a bunch of Dirtbag coaches are going to be doing a podcast type thing. So cool ass Dirtbag Nation podcast. Me and Keevil, Justin, like we'll literally just be talking for an hour straight of just random shit about 40k. Hopefully that stuff interests you about just like what the meta's like, what we're thinking, what we're gonna be running, random shit about beard, military, 40k. And if you guys like that type of stuff, let me know because we'll obviously keep doing it. But we want to try and go weekly, if not bi-weekly. We'll record it, put it up on YouTube, put it up on Patreon, and then put it up probably on Spotify, so that way you guys can all listen to it, maybe while you're driving, stuff like that. But yeah, a lot of shit's coming up in 2026. But this season, we're trying to end strong, trying to get to that #1 Death Guard spot. Right now, we're currently holding it, but we got 2 more big things coming up with Death Guard. And if we get hit, we keep our banner up for Grey Knights, Chaos, and Death Guard. And then next year, we're focused a lot on fucking Space Marines and every other faction out there. Probably Kroot. If Kroot's still good, I'll probably be running Kroot, because Kroot is hilarious when you beat people with it. So, yeah, guys, I appreciate it. Thanks for sticking around. Let me know in the comments below what you liked, didn't like, how we can improve on the channel. Let me know what you got coming up for GT-wise. If you guys want some coaching, head over to the Patreon page. We got a Dirtbag coach in your corner, or one of our other Dirtbag coaches can coach you throughout the entire 40k journey that you're trying to get better at. So, I appreciate it. Good luck, and we'll see you in another video soon.